Hey everybody, welcome to another con support video. This one is on slope from a graph. So how to calculate slope when looking at a graph, okay? So let's see how we do. Let's see if I can get my lighting a little better. It's not ideal, is it? All right, anyways, let's get to work. All right, so let's go. All right, so over here we've got our graph. Let me see if I can get a better view of it. Okay, fair enough. All right, so you've got this graph right here. And remember, what slope is the slant of a line. So it's the change in y over the change in x. That's how you calculate it. So all you guys have to know for slope is that slope is equal to change in the y over the change in the x. So in this case, we got to just find two ordered pairs, whatever two ordered pairs you can identify. And then once you have found those ordered pairs, you are just going to find the difference in the y values, difference in the x values. That will be the ratio that gives you the slope. So looking at this particular graph, I can see two identifiable points. You see that first one there? That is negative 3, 2. Okay, so I know that the first point is negative 3, 2. And you're just looking for points that are easily identifiable on the grid that cross at exact values. So that one I think is pretty good. And if we follow it, looks to me like right there, we've got another one at negative 1, 3. All right, so we've got another one at negative 1, 3. So here are your 2 points that you can use to identify your slope. Just to give you guys a sense of this a little bit, if I were to, let's say, screen capture this, and then let's see if I can paste it in here. Let's see, copy. Let me just see if I can write on this. Might be a little more fun for you guys to see it. And so paste it on here. Okay, cool. So what you're actually noticing here is that you can literally just do it from the graph as well. So if you're looking at the graph and you're going, all right, what's the slope? We know this is the first point. This is the second point. So the slope is the change in the y over the change in the x. So the rise over the run, that's what it's called. So in this case, the change in the y direction is up 1. So change in the y is plus 1. And the change in the x visually we can see is over to the right 2. So that's plus 2, which means that your slope is going to be the value of positive 1 over positive 2, or 1/2 as your slope. Now, mathematically, you can find this as well by looking at the formula here. So the formula just says, it's very fancy. It says y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, but it basically just means pick one of these points to be your first point, one of these points to be your second point. So let's just call this point number 1 and this point number 2. And then we're just going to find the difference in the y's and compare that to the difference in the x's. So the difference in the y values is going to be 3 minus 2, right? y2 minus y1. And the difference in the x value is going to be negative 1 take away negative 3. Negative 1, and we're going to take away from that negative 3. Now, 3 minus 2 is, of course, 1. So I think we all can see that. And negative 1 take away negative 3 is the same as negative 1 plus 3, which is just going to be positive 2. So once again, you can see that very same value of 1/2. So whether you do it with a formula or you just move on the graph to find the slope ratio via change in y over change in x, the movement from one point to the other, vertical movement compared to horizontal movement, you're going to get the same value. So it's just the change in the y divided by the change in the x. If you want to think of it as how far up or down on top and then how far left or right on bottom, that also works, okay? So that is your slope. So here the slope is positive 1/2. Remember, a line that's going up from left to right is going to be a positive slope. Line going down from left to right would be a negative slope. So this is just positive 1/2. That's all it is. All right, let's go to the next question. That's funny, it disappeared on me. Where'd it go? All right, so it's back. We can now get into that next question here. So I'm going to kind of erase everything we have here, and we can get rid of this and paste it in image. And let's just copy and paste this one. I think it's the easiest method. So let's just go Command Shift, grab this image, and bring it on over here. So we're going to bring it on over here where I can mark it up. And that's just so I can mess with it because I can't really mess with it on Con. And so when you're looking at this one over here on the right-hand side, you'll notice that the slope ratio is basically, first identify 2 points. So the first point I can identify exactly is that y-intercept of 0, 2. So that's the ordered pair of 0, 2. I can also identify this point right here, and that looks like an exact place where it crosses, and that's the point 1, 0. So basically, you've got an x and a y-intercept, which is pretty cool. And we can just find the slope of the line pretty simply. All you got to do is go change in the y direction, which looks like it's down 2, so minus 2, compared to the change in the x direction, which is plus 1, to the right 1. So the slope ratio is just going to be change in y over change in x, and change in y is negative 2, change in x is positive 1. So what's negative 2 over positive 1? It's worth negative 2. So your slope is just going to be negative 2. That's it. This line is going down from left to right. The slope is negative 2. And so you're going to go here and you're going to put in negative 2. And then you're going to get the next one. So this is a gentle negative slope. So we know that we can expect this to be a negative slope. It's not a steep slope, so it's probably somewhere between 0 and 1 absolute value. So it's probably like negative a half, negative, something like that. Maybe negative a third. So let's take a look at it and let's see what we can find out as an exact value for that slope. I'm going to grab this image here. I'm going to paste it in over here so we can mess with it. And I'm going to get rid of this extra text over here that's causing us problems. Let's just get rid of that. Okay, so looking at this particular one here, identify 2 points that are super clear. Looks to me like the 2 points are super clear. This one's super clear right there, and that's the point negative 1, 1. And another super clear point looks to me like it's right there, and that would be the ordered pair 2, 0. Okay, you're looking just for points that are exactly on the grid, so you can identify them. Now, from that, we can now look and see the change in the y direction. The change in the y direction is down 1. And the change in the x direction, which is going to be to the right 1, 2, 3 units. So like I said, it looked like it was gentle, probably a negative 1/2 or negative 1/3. This one's a negative 1/3. And we can see that because the change in y is going to go on top. Remember, slope ratio is always change in y on top, change in x on bottom. So in this case, the change in y is negative 1, change in x is positive 3. This is down 1 and to the right 3. So this is a negative 1/3. So you're going to go here and you're going to write negative 1/3. Negative 1/3, and that is the answer. Okay, let's get rid of this and do the next one. So on this one here, let's grab the image again and do our bit to make this as cool as possible so we can see everything. And I'm just going to get rid of this, copy it, get rid of that, and then paste it in here. All right, cool. So we've got our slope line here. It looks like that's a proportional line, right? It's a line that goes through the origin. So if we're looking for the function here, it would be a proportional function y equals kx. But that's besides the point. Let's then identify the slope. So it looks like that origin, though, is 1 point. So that's 0, 0. The other point looks like it would be right there. Okay, so that looks like the next point you're going to use, which is 1, 2. So if you ask yourself what's the change in the y direction, I think it's pretty clear that it's just up 2. And then the x direction, it's to the right 1. So from one point to the next on the line, you're going to go up 2 and to the right 1. So your change in y is positive 2. Your change in x is positive 1. So that is your slope ratio. It's always change in y over change in x, which is just 2, right? So this is just a slope of 2. So you're going to go here and put 2. And you're done. All right, so that's how you find slope. It's literally just the steepness of a line. If it's positive, it's going up. If it's negative, it's going to go down from left to right. If it's 0, it's flat. And it's just changing y over changing x from one point to the next in the line. It's a staircase of movement along a line. All right, hope that helps you guys. And I'll see you next time.